Hello, guys, gals, and non binary pals. Welcome to the MNM'S podcast. This is episode 5, and on today's topic, we're talking about the environment, Cypriot style. Now, this is part 2, so to fully enjoy it, please go back to part 1 and have a listen if you haven't already. Seriously, look, go back to part 1 and listen to it. It's okay, I'll be here, I'll be waiting. Did you listen? Okay, great. Now enjoy this episode.
I think it was 2 months ago.
I think
remember?
you went with your mom 2 months ago, I think.
Yeah. I went with my mom and her friend, and it was after the club, and I barely was functioning. Don't call me that. And so basically, there's so much untouched nature there. Like they're literally trying not to touch, but of course they do destroy and stuff like that. But in April, it was in April, there was so much land with so much like land
Greenery?
with greenery, with grass, with flowers, with the red flowers, with the yellow flowers that we have. And it has trees as well, and they're trying not to destroy it.
Yeah.
And literally, like, we passed an old army base, and it is being protected, but you could see it. I mean,
Yeah.
we have cameras from that. No, they don't have like watch guards anymore. They just have cameras, and you could see it, all the inside of it just being green.
Cool, I want to see.
Yes, but I think it's only in April you can see that. After the rain subdue and like it's starting to get hotter, that's the
Yeah.
period when Cyprus gets more beautiful.
Yeah.
But it's a bit cold sometimes.
Yeah, and
Like
it's
you have
also short-lived because immediately
Yes,
afterwards it's too hot and everything just dies.
yes, and they start cutting down the flowers on the highway. I'm gonna tell you,
Yeah.
because there's so much beautiful colors. There's so much red, pink, yellow, and it's such a like, I love that period. Like I drive and it's like literally like, oh my god, this is so beautiful, and I'm constantly taking pictures with my dash cam from my car, and or videos, and I constantly upload it on my Instagram as well, if you remember me uploading it.
Mm.
And at some point I remember I did my nails, and I found one spot that had so beautiful like pink flowers, and
Yeah.
I went the next day after I did my nails, and they cut it down, and I couldn't
Mm.
find it, and I was just like so sad, because I was like, no, wait, like it didn't even touch the highway, like it was so far away from barricades, but they just cut it down because like it started going there. And I was just like, no, don't do it, no.
Yeah.
Okay. On a new topic,
Mm.
which is your favorite time period in Cyprus, like season wise and weather wise? Like, what's
December.
your why?
Because it's raining, but it's stable raining. And
Is it?
it's also not too cold. Yeah, it has rain, but it's a stable amount of rain. Like, I feel January and February have a lot more rain. Yeah, we have a lot more showers in January and February, and even
Right.
floods. So,
Yeah. But in Cyprus, we're very happy when we have rain, because if we have lots of rain, we're happy because we will have water until like October next year, and then maybe 1 or 2 months we won't have water, but then we'll get it again, because when we don't get a lot of showers in Cyprus, it's very bad, because we won't have enough drinking water, and we'll have to import drinking water from Europe.
yeah. So if listeners, again, if you're not from Cyprus, like just most of our followers, most of our listeners are from Cyprus or lived in Cyprus at one point or another. But here we don't have, like, if you open the sink in your house, you won't be able to have drinking water. You have to buy it. So it gets, if we import it from another country, it gets more expensive.
Yeah.
Which, yeah, it's an annoying situation, but yeah.
Also, lately, for some reason, like my father went and got himself water from the mountains, and the
Hmm,
pH level was very low.
that's good.
So no, the
No?
pH for drinking water is 7.
Yeah. What
It
if
was
it's lower, like 6 or
6.5.
5?
No, it's getting worse. It means that it doesn't have enough water, minerals. It's not drinkable enough, and you can get poisoning from
Poisoning?
it. Yes. If it's too high or too low, even for like 1 pH level, it can be very toxic to humans.
Really?
Yeah, that's why a lot of like all the water that you're drinking from bottles, to be honest, you also do it from the tap, but it's just in the bottled waters, it's more analyzed and more created for the human. Rather than tap is mostly used to um, stop the bad microorganisms from being there. That's why you get a lot of chlorine in your tap water due to the fact they're trying to stop the microorganism growth.
Chlorine and fluoride?
Mostly
Or,
chlorine, only
okay.
chlorine to be honest.
What's
Um,
fluoride for?
Fluoride isn't like I don't.
It's the one we
What is?
also have in our toothpaste.
Yeah, but where did you hear fluoride from? Because I don't remember. Like I don't remember this from.
A Bulgarian interview.
Okay,
If that helps,
Cyprus.
I don't know.
I maybe they're trying to use some new technique in Bulgaria, but I do know that they only use chlorine to clean in Cyprus because they have another technique, ozono, like something with ozone, I believe. No, there's another technique, but it's more expensive. But because chlorine still works to kill off microorganisms, they do it until it doesn't work anymore.
Yeah.
So, fun fact.
Très intéressant.
Mm,
Very interesting.
yes.
Yes.
Okay. My favorite time of the year is
Right, I
probably.
forgot to ask you.
Yeah,
I'm
just like we
sorry.
don't care about Masha's opinion.
What's your time favorite of the what's your favorite time of the year, Masha?
Thank you, Mimi, for caring about me. I didn't know I'm allowed to do that. My favorite time of the year is, when springtime becomes um summertime, so like that period when it's the winter is finishing and the summer is beginning, when we
March?
get um well, it changes year by year, unfortunately, so I cannot pinpoint it.
Hmm.
So when the days are getting hotter, so you're walking in a tank top, but during the night you still have to put like like something to not get cold, and you sometimes
A
get
blazer.
rains as
Yeah.
well. Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's just like that mixed temperature, mix of weather, which you're like, oh, is it gonna rain? Is it gonna be sunny? And it's just like a little bit unpredictable. I don't know. I just like that period.
Cool. Cool, cool,
Yeah,
cool. It actually sounds nice. You're describing the feeling of it, having
yeah,
a warm weather, but not hot one.
yeah.
So, yeah, that would be
And
nice.
during the night, you may or not wear a blazer, And it also may rain during the day as well sometimes, because it's like still cold and hot, so it's that temperature that, with the whole cycle of rain or water, it goes into the air and it starts to rain due to the hot weather, and then it's cold, and it's very nice.
Yeah. I don't
Yes,
have
I don't.
anything else to say.
Well, the last point that I have that I wrote down because we were
Yeah.
writing down things is
Yeah.
escapism.
Escapism. Were
Yes.
we gonna incorporate that in this episode?
I think it's what it was supposed to be about, that people use nature as escapism, but due to the fact that in Cyprus we
Yeah.
don't have many things um close.
Activities.
I mean, yes, activities related to nature, because we have a lot of beach activities. Because
Yeah.
another thing which, when I traveled to Greece, I found it a bit uh surprising, because I grew up near the beach, so
Yeah.
in especially in my area, you always find on every beach water sports. Like, you can jet ski, you can rent a kayak, you can rent a sup, you can rent a boat, you can,
Yeah.
like, it's a whole thing. There is no such thing in Greece. Like, you have to go
What do you
to
mean?
designated areas. You have to go to designated areas. Like, it's not every
Really?
beach. Yes. Like,
That's
on the beaches that I
disappointing.
went to, like on the beaches that I went to, there was nothing like that. And through the pictures of my friends that I see, there's nothing like that.
Oh, come to Cyprus, kids.
Yeah, because I went on that like on the cart thing that moves with the air. So it's like carts where you like race with friends, but you race with, like, the only thing that allows you to race is the wind. And I went on that alone. And my friend from Greece replied, and he was like, "Oh my God, I wish we had this in Greece." And I'm like, "Wait, don't you have?" Because Greece is like bigger than Cyprus. Like, if we have something in Cyprus, in
Yeah.
my logic, if we have something in Cyprus, in Greece for sure has it, like twice more.
Yeah.
Apparently not. They don't have it. I searched online and I couldn't find it. And this sport is
I have
is
the
coming
same
from
logic.
New
Like we're a
Zealand.
small island. They're a big country. Like I don't
Okay,
see why they don't.
can I shock you once more? Because I
Yeah.
had this shock yesterday.
Tell
So
me.
apparently, some people don't know how to make frappe, and they're Cypriots.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
I know, right? Like, for me, this is like shocking, because I'm like, but you live in Cyprus. Like, frappe is like drinking water. Like, it's so easy to make, and like sometimes I do it without even thinking.
For our listeners, I dislike coffee. I
Yeah,
don't like it. Masha loves coffee. Like she loves,
I
loves, loves,
fucking
loves coffee.
love
She's
coffee.
obsessed with it. Yeah. I know how to make frappe. Like it is that easy.
Yeah, I just feel like it was like a natural thing with Cypriot. Like, it's, you do frappe like you're breathing. No, I was talking to a friend and she was like, "Oh, maybe you can teach me how to make a frappe." And I'm like, "You could live your whole life in Cyprus. How the fuck you don't know how to make a frappe?" You know how I'm talking about, and I'm like, "What the fuck?" I will teach you frappe how to make one, but what the fuck? Like,
You
my whole
okay?
my whole word shattered through that message.
It's fine. It's fine. At least now she knows. You know, you can teach her. Show her,
I
please,
know.
please show her
I will show her.
or
But
him,
it's like,
whoever.
yeah, but it was like just my whole brain shattering, and I'm like, wait, because, like, you see everybody holding a frappe, and even at work, you always have machines for frappe.
And even if you don't like frappe, you can see other people making it all the time.
Yeah, and usually,
All
like,
the
if
time.
you, yeah, if you order a frappe at a coffee shop or stuff like that, usually your friends will joke around, "Oh, you cannot do it at home," as a joke, and you're like,
Yeah.
"Oh, I'm just bored to make it," and stuff like that, even though it's just 2 seconds. Like you literally can make it into seconds.
Yeah.
So it was like very like shocking, and then I'm like, what? Why? How? So yeah, so some things are not common as you think. There are some
Yeah.
exceptions. Oh my god, I
Yeah.
can't. Um, so yeah, the logic applies everywhere. Yes. So for the last part of our episode, because I didn't know we could make an episode in the whole environment thing. We thought like 30 minutes will be enough, but we're closing to 1 hour.
Yeah.
So what is the thing that you will change to make Cyprus more environmentally friendly?
Yeah. So what I was saying, what I was trying to say, solar panels, um, environmentally friendly roofs. I saw this in Barcelona and I really like it, like growing plants on your roof. Because, many people in Eastern Europe live in the city, but they also have, because I would really like to say, hey, let's all use bikes, but we cannot because the weather is horrible. Um, so yeah,
I
better
mean, we could
transportation
use it,
system.
yeah, better transportation system, but I feel like if I don't think they'll be able to make a metro. Like if they make, it's going to be too expensive first of all, and to use, but it would increase the usage of it though. So it's a very like we could make it, but at the same time it will be expensive, so I don't know if people would use it. But there's a lot of people who literally live in Larnaca, Limassol, and even in my area, and they commute every day for hours to go to other cities to work like me.
A long time ago, before the war, there used to be a train.
Yes, but there was a train. It was mostly for coal transportation. It wasn't
Really?
exactly transport. Yes, it was mostly for coal. It was for industrial use. It wasn't for common people usage.
Well, I wish they would use this train again and they would use it for people usage. Why? Because like you said, there's many people from your area that work in the capital here in Nicosia, and there's many people from Nicosia who work because of tourism in your area. So that would be really useful.
Yeah, but it's a bit hard to make because my area. So where the line is from the northern Cyprus that comes near
Yeah.
Ormidia, Achna. So
Mm-hmm.
that whole area over there, Ormidia, Aachen, is being control. So that land is allocated to UK. So it's under UK supervision. To the like they have their own army there. So it is considered
I
being
know.
UK.
Yep.
I know, but listeners don't know. S-
Yes. Go on. Explain it to
So
them.
so it is very hard to get permission to get anything from there, to make anything to pass from there.
Yeah.
Um, So like they made like if you go to that area over there and cross the border and go from south to northern Cyprus, you're allowed to go from south to northern Cyprus, but you're not allowed to go from north to south in that specific zone.
And the reason, the reason it's annoying for me that the UK, not the United Nations, specifically the UK Army owns and controls, not specifically that place, but a place in Cyprus annoys me very much because recently they have been trying to acquire another place in Cyprus. And that
They have two
specific
places.
area,
No, three
yeah,
places. They have two places in Cyprus.
exactly. Like, why? Why do they need them? What are they
Yeah,
gonna do with them?
I don't know, but they have the highest point of Cyprus, which is Olympos. I know that's the same name as in the highest mountain in Greece as well, which is when people refer to me, oh, have you ever been to Olympus? And I'm like, which one? Please specify.
Okay, but still, like, to our point, like, why does the UK Army need to be present in on our island? What for?
Uh, because we're Commonwealth country, according to
We
them.
used to be. We used to
No,
be.
we
Not
still
anymore,
are.
which means
No, no,
they
no,
need
no,
to get the fuck off the island.
no, no, no. Sorry, we were colonized. They released that, but we are Commonwealth country, which means that by all rules they're allowed to have their army base here, and they have army bases on every wait with I know on every Commonwealth country. But we have more, but Commonwealth country, because it goes both ways, we have more laws in comparison to other people who reside in UK and are not from Commonwealth countries. That's why we are allowed, like even with Brexit right now, you and me, we don't have to have a visa to go to UK for 90 days. And for us, it's easier to apply for a citizenship there compared to Greeks, because Greece is not common. It's not a Commonwealth country, and for us,
Yay,
it's
they were not colonized.
no, never. They never colonized. I actually learned when I lived in UK, and I found out that they're not Commonwealth country, and I was like, I'm so surprised. Because I was allowed to vote, but my other Greek friends were not allowed to vote, and they wanted to vote, and I was like, I don't want to vote.
Uh,
I learned it from that part. But yeah, so that's what I mean. It goes both ways. It's not a one-way transaction as with America, that they're allowed to visit here without any visa, but we need a visa and the whole procedure, and we have to have affiliate in America and stuff like that when you have to pay and shit like that. They don't have to do anything.
let's leave the political stuff out of this question. I will slowly burn over here. Yeah, yeah. Okay, that's another talk for
Yes.
another time.
Yes, back to the
Yeah.
question that I asked.
Yes.
I agree with you on the solar panels, because we had this talk before that solar panels were illegal up until a few years prior, and now they're started to come back. And I wouldn't say they're quite expensive, but they are an investment.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, in Cyprus, only one or two of two in systems is allowed by the laws to be put, and it's the output system, which is basically you put solar panel system in your house, and you send the produced electricity back to the main station of Cyprus, and you're not allowed to use it. You literally just rent out your place to the AIC, which is the uh, EAC, how in English it's pronounced, which is like basically the whole electricity in Cyprus, how it's called. And basically, it's a transaction where you pay to reduce your electricity, but in reality, you kind of pay for them to put their stuff, but with your money. So it's not exactly a very good transaction. Yeah, you do get a discount on your decrease on your bill at the end of
Mm-hmm.
2 months. But it also depends on the production that you make. So it's not exactly every time it's the same one. So some months it's gonna be like I had a client who she had a bill from 200 euros. It went to 30 euros.
Hmm.
Um, but during winter she was paying like from 400 euros. She was paying like 200 something. Like it depends on the production. Like it's not exactly very uh it's a very dependable source. The other one that is illegal in Cyprus, and they don't want to make it legal because people will use it, it's input system, which basically means whatever you produce, you consume it. Like you don't send it back to the AIC. And AIC doesn't want that because you will be paying less to them.
Important information. AIC is the only electricity provider on the island.
Yeah.
That's why they completely capitalize on everything and they get away with doing this.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it's half governmental, half um, non-governmental.
Yeah.
So Sorry, no, it's 40% governmental. It went down, and 60% it's commercial. Like it's not governmental. So that's why a lot of the things are being very expensive. Like especially that's why they put the fines back to us, and our electricity bill just skyrocketed to 100%. Yay.
Yay. Diarrhea. How wonderful.
It is. So that's another thing, but I also think that they like another problem why we don't have electrical cars is due to AIC. Because basically for electric cars to charge correctly, so
Yeah.
um, the only way that you can charge an electric car, because it's such a big
Yeah.
battery, to charge a car you usually put an inverter, so it changes the electricity to the correct charge, like to the correct volts, I believe, to
Oh,
your car.
yeah. Okay.
And basically, if too many inverters are being put, like for example, you know how you have an apartment building, and if too many inverters are being put in the same part, then it's going to blow up the whole electricity system. And which is why, like in other countries, they start putting in the buildings, like if you have like electric car, you put a special cable that charges the car correctly, because you don't want to damage the car as well. And in Cyprus we don't have it, and I will not put it. And basically you won't be able to charge your car correctly.
They don't.
No, and they are like, oh, you can just put an inverter, but imagine like everybody puts an inverter, what's gonna happen? And it's bad. It's gonna be boom, like we had in 2011 with the whole station, and we didn't have electricity in summer.
Yeah, there was an explosion and
Yeah,
several people died.
2 people died.
No, more
No,
died.
well, it was less than 10 people, but I just remember
Yeah.
it was 2 twins that died.
Yeah.
um like the whole article was about them because the mother was crying on the television and stuff like that. But it
Yeah.
was less than 10 people. Even less than 5 people I believe died. But basically the nobody was conducting any investigations on how health
The
wise
explosion occurred.
no, they know how it occurred, but prior to that there were no inspections going on to see if everything is up to date, or if there's any like damage or rust happening in the area. And because there was so much like rust and old things there, so it just had blown up. I live in the tourist area, so I actually had more electricity than usual in that area. But yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, another thing, yeah, so I agree on having electrical cars from solar panel sustainable energy, but for that to happen, they need to put charging stations in every corner of Cyprus, you know, in every 10-minute radio, like 10-minute like drive.
Rest in peace to the soldiers that had to, you know, save and improvise. They had to improvise, and make the damage smaller than it could have been. And they kind of saved other people. Not kind of, they saved other people. Um, but yeah, I don't want a situation like this to repeat itself. And I don't like how the government or the specific organization takes advantage of its monopoly to control which cars we use. Yeah, I don't like it.
Yeah. Well, my point is, also that station was built from the English occupation. So English people built it, and imagine how many
Yeah.
years was that, because that was before Turkish invasion, Turkish occupation. So we had at first English, then Turkish, then English again, then Turkish, and then we had the war. And yeah, so imagine how long ago that station was built. So I think it needed time to be renewed, and that was the major station as well.
Yeah, it
And
was.
they kind of rebuilt it, like, and
Still is. Yeah.
you know what's the sad part? That
No.
station stands on the English base, like next to the English base. So it's not exactly on Cyprus ground.
Yeah. It is Cyprus ground, but it's just currently owned by English people.
To be fair, 85% of the land in Cyprus is being owned by church, which I do not agree.
That is
Church,
another topic, and that can be fixed. But I agree with you, it sucks. Yeah.
yes. Like for me, church should not have that much land. Like it shouldn't occupy 85% of the whole island. Like I
I
understand
agree.
having churches here and there, but you like I don't think you're allowed to have this kind of percentage. Like you're literally having the control of the whole Cyprus.
Masha is not saying that. I know we just took off on the topic of, hey, like we're complaining of any and everything, any and every political thing we don't like in Cyprus, but this is important because touristically we advertise Cyprus as the island with most churches. But the sad part of it is there's a lot of religious power, which affects other political topics and decisions made for people.
Like abortion.
For example, yes, or same-sex marriage,
Yes.
or the acceptance of non-binary and transgender identities.
Or people of
So
color.
yes, having in mind we are very close to North Africa, so there are a lot of Cypriots who live on the island who are, they have African roots. So,
Yeah.
but whatever. Like, we cannot, we can make, we can affect people. We can make sort of a butterfly effect, but that doesn't mean our small actions are enough to change everything.
You never know. You never know.
I wish we could.
You never know.
Yes. I know I'm very positive today.
It's
Not
okay.
very positive. Yeah, it's okay.
On a final note,
Yes.
Mimi, on a final
Yes.
note, what did you learn today?
Uh, well, today you took over mostly because like you're a biologist, of course, you know a lot more about the environment. I learned a lot more I didn't know about agamas and paphos. And yeah, I think you're very keen. There's a reason you're very interested in electrical cars. And up until now, I didn't know exactly why. Now I can see more of it.
I actually want to know why is that like why do you think that? Because I'm like concerned. Because my interest in electric cars because I have like my father has electrical cars, so I know some
Really?
things from there.
Yeah.
Man, I've drove electrical cars. I told you that a few times.
I mean, I don't know. Is it better for everyone to have an electrical car? Is it better for everyone to, like, I wish, like, in Bulgaria, like, not everyone drives, not in Greece too, because it's not needed because
Cyprus
they
as
have
well.
good transportation. Yeah, but they have a better transportation system
Yeah, I know.
and they don't need not everyone actually needs cars. Well, here, yes, not everyone drives, but everyone needs a car because city structure sucks.
Yeah, but why do you think I'm coming back to the question because you didn't answer.
Yeah,
Why do you think um I'm interested in the electrical cars?
because I think that you think that it's going to help the environment.
I mean, I think okay, so for me, I understand the importance of electrical cars, and I feel like it is a bit like one of the biggest one that we can change the CO2 levels, like we can decrease it. But
Mm,
the only thing that is a key here is the the production of the electricity. Like it shouldn't come from petrol, like the electricity that comes right now to our houses. It should come from renewable energies like solar panels or wind or the waves in the sea, because we have like lots of waves in Cyprus as well, like in
True.
specific areas.
Yeah.
But they did try to make I did try, I believe, some years ago, because they why they forbid the solar panels is basically AIC wanted to uh, be the only source of those stuff. That's why they forbid the general public of doing that. So they tried to do the waves one, and they couldn't produce enough electricity, so they discarded of the projects apparently. But
It's the story gets worse and worse by every sentence.
I'm so sorry. Um, but that's what I mean. Like I do feel like like cars can be changed and everything, but there should be solutions, and I wouldn't accept a car, like electric car, if it's like if the electricity came from non-renewable sources.
Yeah.
Like I can directly put petrol in my car. I don't need it to be made into electricity and then put into the car.
Yeah,
Like
there's no point.
there's no point of me making this illusion that I'm like saving the environment, but in reality I'm damaging it even more, because the process of making the electricity from petrol is bigger than me putting petrol in my car and driving it.
Yeah. Yeah. And that
So
was it, kids. Thank you for listening. You know, I hope you'll um grow up to be scientists and find no, but seriously, okay, I'm joking. Um I really do hope I'm not good at joking, but I'm trying, okay? Um I really do hope I feel nah. There's this book in our bookshop. It's called The Book of Hope. It's an environmentalist book, and I really love it because the best environmentalists out there, the biggest ones, they still have hope. And even though we're complaining, I think we both have hope for the future and the new solutions to come. And, you know, even though the situation sucks, there are good things about the environment and good people who are in the right places in both governmental and non governmental companies are trying to make things work. Yes, take time, but we're getting there.
yeah. On a good
Yeah.
note, remember the hole of ozone?
Yeah.
It closed down. Remember how
Yay.
we had the biggest issues? Well, apparently they released a report that the hole closed down, and but we had so much trapped uh, heat still. So we still get the environmental impact because the whole iceberg melted, but that's why like there is still hope and we can still change things. And the
Yeah.
biggest change should come from the biggest companies of the world, because they're the ones who are producing all the waste, and they're the ones who are damaging the environment the most. And I don't think your paper straw is going to help, unfortunately, especially when reports are being made that it has uh, a higher damage. It creates a higher damage to the environmental compared to plastic. Apparently, from the like, it costs more, and energy wise as well, like production wise, with for paper straws compared to plastic ones. Apparently,
Good to
that's why
know.
use that's why use metal straws. They're easier to clean, reusable, and things like that. Or the best one, instead of paper straws, use spaghetti.
Or just don't use straws at all.
Sometimes, like, I don't know about you, but my teeth are very
Yeah.
sensitive and I have to use a straw.
Oh, I forgot about that. Yes.
Or some
Okay, I
people
see.
after surgeries, they cannot open their mouth, so they eat from the straw.
I get it.
Also, some drinks
Okay.
should not be drunk without a straw.
Like which
Frappe.
drinks?
Frappe.
Well, like I said, I don't drink coffee, so I don't relate. Yeah, that's your issue. People who drink frappe, basically the entire island, please use aluminium or metal straws.
Yeah. Well, I hope you learned a few things about Cyprus as well. And if you have any questions, don't be shy. Send us the DM, send us like a request, and we'll try to fully answer it with the biggest capabilities we have.
Yeah,
And I
don't be
hope you
shy. We
enjoyed
have a
this episode.
biologist here. Like, ask her questions. Here's your
I have
chance.
my degree says microbiology, so I do not know much about the environment. So I will refer to someone else, to be honest.
Okay, we have a microbiologist here who knows a lot about the environment and is actually keen to contact another biologist, and they will together answer all of your questions.
Yes. Yes. I hope
That's a
you
good
enjoyed
advertisement.
this.
Okay.
I hope you enjoyed this week's episode, and don't forget to subscribe, like, and follow us for more. Love you guys. Bye.
Bye.
Oh, strawberries.
Yeah.
Did I say
Yep.
strawberries
Yep. Yep.
or spaghetti? My God, I said
You said
strawberries.
strawberries.
I didn't say.
I mean, they can use why? It's a good match. Like frappe and strawberries. It's a good match.
I prefer custard cream biscuits with frappe. Like it's for me, that's the best combo.
Mm, okay.
You never tried. I know. I
No.
know. I know
No.
you're missing out. I know you're missing out.
Lately I had a coffee. It was a like tartalet. Do you know what I'm talking about? Um, you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I had
Continue.
a tartalet with it was cocoa with coffee, and it was
Oh, that's
delicious.
nice. Yes.
Yeah.
My father buys from Lidl like they're like coffee cups, like, and it's ice cream made of coffee. And I
Oh.
constantly go there and I literally just, but apparently like he buys it only for himself so nobody like eats it. And I'm literally going to his house and I'm just constantly eating it. When I say constantly,
Oh.
once a week or like 2 times a month.
Okay.